Long before Ryan, Kaji became one of the most recognizable young creators on YouTube before the millions of views. Before the toys, before the merchandise, it was simply a young boy who enjoyed playing with toys. Ryan was born into a family that would eventually become deeply involved in his digital career. His parents, Cheyenne and Lone Kaji, played an important role in helping create and manage the channel. At a very young age, Ryan began appearing in simple family videos. The concept was surprisingly simple. Ryan would open toys, play with them, react to them, and share his excitement with viewers. At first, it was just family entertainment. There was no guarantee that millions of people would watch. There was no giant production studio, and there was no massive business empire. But the videos connected with children. Young viewers enjoyed watching Ryan discover new toys. His reactions felt natural. The content was colorful, simple, and easy for children to understand. The channel eventually became known as Ryan's World. And then the numbers began to change. Views started increasing. More families discovered the videos. More children became regular viewers. And the audience continued growing. What had started as a small family YouTube project was becoming a major children's entertainment channel. The growth also revealed something important about the new digital economy. A child with a camera, a simple idea, and a platform like YouTube could potentially reach millions of people around the world. Ryan's parents recognized the opportunity. The channel became more organized. The content expanded, and Ryan's World developed beyond simple toy reviews. But the foundation remained the same. Ryan was entertaining his audience. The audience kept coming back, and millions of views created something extremely valuable: attention. In the modern media industry, attention can become a business. A large audience can attract advertisers, it can support sponsorships, it can create demand for products, and it can eventually become the foundation of an entire brand. For Ryan, this transformation happened incredibly early in life. While most children were simply playing with toys, Ryan was becoming the face of a rapidly growing digital brand. The channel's success would eventually lead far beyond YouTube. Toys, books, clothing, games, television projects, and licensed products would follow. But none of that existed at the beginning. It started with a camera, a few toys, a family, and a young boy who simply enjoyed sharing his world with other children. The first videos were small, the audience was growing, and nobody yet knew how enormous Ryan's World could become. But one thing was already clear: Ryan Kaji had found an audience, and that audience would become the foundation of a global children's brand. Ryan's World was no longer just a YouTube channel. As the audience grew, the business opportunity grew with it. Millions of children were watching Ryan's videos, and that meant something important. Ryan's World had become a recognizable brand. The first major step was advertising. Companies realized that Ryan's audience was highly valuable. Instead of simply watching traditional television commercials, children were discovering products through digital content. Brands wanted to be part of that ecosystem. Advertising integrations and sponsorships became an important part of the business. But the biggest opportunity was still ahead: products. Ryan's World could exist beyond a screen. If children already recognized Ryan, they could also recognize Ryan's characters on toys, books, clothing, and games. The brand began working with major companies and toy manufacturers. Products connected to Ryan's World appeared in retail stores. Toys allowed children to take part of the experience home. Books expanded the characters into another form of entertainment. Games created another way for fans to interact with the brand. And clothing turned the characters into something children could physically wear. This was a major transformation. Ryan was no longer simply creating videos. The videos were becoming the marketing engine for a much larger business. YouTube created attention, the characters created recognition, and products created another source of revenue. This is one of the most powerful ideas in modern media. A successful creator does not have to remain only a creator. A popular character can become a product. A popular video can become a television series. A popular channel can become an entertainment franchise. Ryan's World began moving in exactly that direction. The brand expanded into television and other forms of children's entertainment. New characters and storylines gave the audience more reasons to stay connected. The company could also license the Ryan's World name and characters to partners. Licensing allowed other companies to produce approved products using the brand. Instead of Ryan Oswald having to manufacture every single product itself, business partners could help bring the brand into new categories. This allowed the company to expand much faster. The strategy was simple but powerful: build an audience first. Build trust and recognition, then expand the brand into products and entertainment. Ryan Oswald became an example of how the creator economy could work. The audience was not limited to YouTube. It could follow the brand into stores, bookshelves, television, mobile games, and children's bedrooms. And this created a powerful feedback loop. More videos brought more viewers. More viewers increased brand awareness. Greater brand awareness created demand for products. Products expanded the brand. And the expanded brand brought more attention back to the content. The business was becoming much bigger than a collection of YouTube videos. It was becoming a children's entertainment ecosystem. For Ryan's family and business team, the challenge was now different. They had to manage a growing brand, protect the Ryan Oswald identity, create content that remained entertaining, work with major commercial partners, and continue expanding without losing the audience that made the business successful in the first place. The transformation was remarkable. What began as a young boy opening toys in front of a camera had become a recognizable global children's brand. And the most important lesson was becoming clear: in the digital economy, an audience can become much more than views. With the right strategy, attention can become advertising, characters can become products, products can become licensing deals, and a YouTube channel can become a global entertainment business. Ryan Oswald had crossed that line. It was no longer simply a channel. It was becoming an empire built around one of the most valuable assets in modern media: a loyal audience. How can a child become the face of a multi-million-dollar business? For Ryan Kaji, the answer was not simply YouTube, it was the audience. Ryan Oswald built an enormous audience of children and families, and that audience became the foundation for multiple revenue streams. The first major source was YouTube advertising. Every time millions of people watched Ryan's videos, the channel generated advertising opportunities. But advertising was only the beginning. The bigger business opportunity came from turning the Ryan Oswald audience into a recognizable consumer brand. Companies wanted to work with Ryan Oswald. That created opportunities for sponsorships and commercial partnerships. Brands could reach families through content that already had millions of viewers. But the most important transformation happened when Ryan Oswald moved from digital content into physical products. Toys. The Ryan Oswald brand began appearing on toys and other children's products. The economics were powerful. The YouTube channel created awareness. The characters created recognition, and retail products created another way to generate revenue. Instead of earning money only when someone watched a video, the brand could potentially earn money when a child purchased a Ryan Oswald product in a store. This is the difference between being a content creator and building a consumer brand. Ryan Oswald also expanded into clothing, books, games, and other merchandise. Each category created another opportunity to monetize the same underlying asset, the brand. Licensing became another important part of the business. Rather than producing every product internally, Ryan Oswald could work with established companies that manufactured and distributed products using licensed characters and branding. This allowed the brand to expand into more categories and reach more customers. Retail partnerships were particularly important. Products could appear in major stores, putting the Ryan Oswald brand directly in front of families. A child who already knew Ryan from YouTube could recognize the same characters on a shelf. The digital audience and physical retail business reinforced each other. The more people recognized the brand, the more valuable its products could become. Ryan Oswald also expanded into television and other entertainment formats. This created additional opportunities for advertising, distribution, licensing, and audience growth. Digital products added another layer. Games and interactive experiences could keep young viewers connected to the characters beyond individual YouTube videos. The result was a business model with several different revenue streams: YouTube advertising, sponsorships, brand licensing, toys, clothing, books, games, retail partnerships, television, and entertainment. Each one could contribute to the larger Ryan Oswald ecosystem. This is how a YouTube channel can become a multi-million-dollar business. The secret is not simply getting views, it is creating an audience, building a recognizable identity, and then finding multiple ways to create value around that audience. A viral video may generate millions of views, but a strong brand can generate revenue for years. That distinction changed Ryan's world completely. The channel became the engine. The characters became intellectual property, the products became merchandise, the partnerships became distribution, and the audience became the foundation of the entire business. For Ryan's family and business team, this required more than creating entertaining videos. They had to manage contracts, work with manufacturers, develop products, coordinate retail relationships, protect the brand, create new content, and understand what the audience wanted. The business became increasingly sophisticated. Ryan was no longer simply appearing in videos. His name and image had become part of a larger commercial ecosystem, and that ecosystem demonstrated a powerful principle of the creator economy. Attention can become an asset. Millions of viewers create attention. Attention creates brand recognition. Brand recognition creates commercial opportunities, and commercial opportunities can become a large business. But there is another important lesson. The numbers often reported about creator earnings are estimates. YouTube revenue, sponsorship income, licensing revenue, retail sales, and company profits are not the same thing. A product as retail sales do not mean the creator personally receives the entire amount. Manufacturers, retailers, distributors, partners, taxes, production costs, and other expenses all take a share. So the true personal income of a creator can be very different from the total revenue generated by the brand. Nevertheless, Ryan's world demonstrated what was possible. A simple children's YouTube channel could evolve into a sophisticated media and consumer products business. And Kaji became one of the most recognizable examples of how the creator economy can transform entertainment into entrepreneurship. The business was no longer built around one source of income. It was built around an entire ecosystem, and that ecosystem would continue expanding far beyond YouTube. Ryan's world had already become a successful YouTube channel, but the biggest transformation was still happening. The brand was moving beyond YouTube and becoming a global children's entertainment franchise. The strategy was simple: don't depend on one platform. Build a brand that can exist everywhere, on screens, in stores, in books, in games, and inside children's entertainment. As Ryan's audience grew, the brand introduced new characters, stories, and content formats. The goal was to give young viewers more than simple toy videos. Ryan's world could now tell stories, create adventures, introduce characters, and build an entire fictional world around its identity. This made the brand much more valuable. A YouTube video has a limited lifespan, but a recognizable character can live for years. That character can appear in a toy, a book, a cartoon, a video game, or a television series. Ryan's world began working with major commercial and entertainment partners. These partnerships helped bring the brand into new markets. Products carrying the Ryan's world name appeared in retail stores. Families could encounter the brand even when they were not watching YouTube. That was a major change. The company was no longer waiting for viewers to open an app. The brand was meeting consumers in the physical world. A child could watch Ryan online, then see a Ryan's world toy in a store, then read a Ryan's world book, then play a game featuring the same characters. Every experience reinforced the others. This is how entertainment franchises grow. One successful piece of content creates recognition. Recognition creates demand. Demand creates products. Products create new distribution, and distribution brings the characters to even more people. Ryan's world also expanded into animated and television content. This opened another door. Television could introduce the characters to audiences who were not necessarily regular YouTube viewers. At the same time, digital platforms allowed the brand to continue producing content quickly. The company could experiment with different formats: short videos, longer episodes, animated stories, educational content, games, interactive experiences, and new entertainment concepts. This variety helped Ryan's world remain relevant as the audience grew. But international expansion brought another challenge. Children around the world have different languages and cultures. A global children's brand needs to make its content accessible to different audiences. That meant Ryan's World could adapt its content and distribution for international markets. The brand could reach families far beyond the United States, and this created a much larger potential audience. The business was becoming increasingly sophisticated. There were creative teams, production, marketing, licensing, retail relationships, manufacturing partners, digital distribution, and entertainment projects. What started with a child and a camera had evolved into a complex commercial ecosystem, and Ryan's name had become intellectual property that was one of the most important assets in the entire business. The value was no longer only in the videos, it was in the characters, the visual identity, the stories, the audience, the trademarks, and the relationships with commercial partners. This is the difference between a popular channel and a franchise. A channel depends heavily on content. A franchise can generate value across many categories. Ryan's World was moving toward the second model. The YouTube channel remained important, but it was now only one part of a much larger machine. The brand could generate revenue from merchandise, licensing, entertainment, digital products, television, and partnerships. The same audience could interact with Ryan's World in many different ways, and every new product had the potential to strengthen the overall brand. This created a powerful business cycle. More content created more attention. More attention increased brand recognition. Brand recognition increased demand for products. More products expanded the brand as presence, and greater brand presence brought new audiences back to the content. Ryan's World had become much more than a children's YouTube channel. It had become a commercial franchise, and that transformation demonstrated one of the most important lessons of the creator economy. The biggest opportunity may not be the video itself. The real opportunity can be the brand built around the video. Kaji's journey showed how digital attention can become intellectual property, how intellectual property can become products, and how products can become a global entertainment business. The little boy who once opened toys in front of a camera had become the face of an international brand. And the Ryan's World empire was no longer limited by the screen where it began, or the amount of money generated. It is the demonstration that digital platforms can create entirely new paths to entrepreneurship. A child creator can become a brand, a channel can become a company, and entertainment can become a global business. The story began with toys, but the real product was something much more powerful: attention. And Ryan's World showed the world how attention, when combined with creativity, branding, partnerships, and responsible business management, can become an enormous force in the digital economy. The final lesson is simple: you don't always need a traditional company to build a business. Sometimes you can start with a camera, create something people love, build an audience, and turn that audience into a brand that reaches far beyond the screen.